Okay, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Anthony Rios, the Healing Shaman, and I am really glad that you're here. I want to share with you first a couple of things. The school community that I have created is called the Shaman's Journey. It was formerly called the Rainbow Path, but I changed the name to the Shaman's Journey because that really is what I do, and that is where my home is at, where my heart is with the Shaman's Journey. It's something I've been practicing now for almost 30 years, and it really is where my heart is at and where I'm most at home in teaching and sharing with people is about one, the Shaman's Journey, and two, the traditional healing arts of Mexico, which is my lineage. So I have changed that. The link will be posted here in the comments, and it's also a link in bio that you can find here as well. So all that is to say, I'm super excited to be teaching the Shaman's Journey to those of you who are beginners, those of you who are somewhere in between. Maybe you've studied shamanism or you took some journey workshops before, but you haven't done it in a long time. And for those of you who are advanced, but same thing, maybe you just haven't gone further with your advanced training. So what we're going to start with is meeting your helping spirit, the very first journey, right? So what I want to start with, though, before anything else, is tell you how this all started for me, because I think it might sound familiar for a lot of you, right? So again, I'm Anthony Rios, the Healing Shaman. So how this started, I was 6 years old, and I remember it vividly. My grandmother would take me to Houston, and her sisters lived there, and they would go see traditional Mexican healers, what we call curanderos, in Houston. Now, they were devout Catholic women. They had a strong faith, right? But at the same time, they believed completely in the old traditional folk remedies and medicine of Mexico, the herbs, the ceremonies, the prayers, the different things that these healers worked with. They believed in that, right? That was also part of their faith practice. And it's called curanderismo in Mexico, and that is my lineage as well. Now, I was a kid. I didn't have any words for it, but I remember looking through the window, standing on the porch, watching these old weathered healers do their work, and something spiritual was happening. I could feel it. That was outside of church, right? We were at somebody's house, and there were people lined up waiting for their turn. And I could see these healers. They were at it for a long time. You could see that they had been doing this for a long time. People were praying, people were crying, people were there. And there was something about the power of prayer, about self-healing, traditional healing, and about community healing itself, which, again, I was a kid, and it would be many, many years before I found my way back to it full circle in my life. Now, I have been studying and practicing shamanism for close to 30 years. It was 1999. I took my very first workshop with the Foundation for Shamanic Studies called The Way of the Shaman. And it was really something that changed my life. I was amazed at how easy it was for me to learn how to journey, to connect with the helping spirits. And those helping spirits had a lot to say to me. They had a lot to say to me. But from there, over the years, I went on to the advanced trainings. There's a 2-week intensive that they offer. There's a 3-year apprenticeship program that they offered. And I had completed all of this work by 2016. But the most important thing that happened, and really the most beautiful thing that's happened for me, was using the shamanic tools and methods and trainings, which brought me full circle back to my roots in Mexico and studying with indigenous healers, traditional healers in Mexico. Now I go every 6 months. I go every 6 months to Mexico and study with teachers. I translate for teachers down there. We bring students from the United States, but it's brought me full circle. And I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that before we begin, what I'm sharing with you, what I'm teaching you is absolutely not anything I invented. No way, right? It's older than all of us. This is ancient medicine, ancient medicine. So curanderismo, the way it's practiced in Mexico, traces its roots back to Mesoamerica, right? They weren't called Aztecs. That's a name that the Spaniards gave them. They were Mexica people, Zapotec people, and before them, the Toltec people, the Maya people. So this is ancient medicine. And then shamanism itself, anthropologists say 30,000 years, 50,000 years, right? There's no real consensus. It's just old. We know it's old. But the other thing about this, traditional healing, it's not reserved for special people. You don't have to be holy, right? No, you have to be trained. And the other thing about this is that we are so fortunate that these methods, this knowledge has survived. It was almost erased. Almost erased. Governments and religions tried to erase it, but it has survived, and it survived for a reason, because we need it. It is our human inheritance. And I firmly believe that any of us, you go back a few generations and you're going to find traditional healing methods in your family, wherever you're from, whatever part of the world, right? And we already know that a lot of these traditions survive today. So when you have a chance, ask some of the elders in your family about traditional healing and things that were done to them when they were children, and see what happens, see what they tell you. So all that is to say, it survived for a reason, and it's in our DNA. It's not only our human inheritance, it's in our DNA, and we can access it with the shaman's journey. And that's one of the big reasons I love the shamanic journey method, because you can access so much information when you finally meet your helping spirits, which I'm going to train you and teach you about, and you begin that relationship with them over time. So my invitation to you is simply this. Well, one, I know that you've probably felt this already. Some of you who are on a healing path, you've probably felt this already. You just didn't know how to access it and where to learn. So this is not a technique or a method that you can learn and file away. Because let me tell you, when you learn it, you're going to love it. And this is the beginning of a relationship with helping spirits that you can tend to, can last for the rest of your life. There's also a deep relationship, some of you, a reconnection with the divine source of all things, with the creator, with the divine, however you want to name it. And if you found your way here to this video, then you probably felt something already, and you've probably felt it your whole life. I get it, because I felt that when I was a child, that there's something there just past the edge of what we can see and what we can understand, something right there on the other side of what we were told and how we were raised, right? And maybe you've had dreams. Maybe you've had dreams about this, right? Or people come up and talk to you and say things to you and spill their guts to you, and you don't know why. You don't know what to do, right? Maybe you've had a quiet knowing that there's more, that there's more inside of you, that there's more inside of you that needs to get out and needs to learn. So for the purposes right now, I'm not going to ask you to believe anything, right? I'm not going to ask you to believe anything, to change your life, to change anything about you. All I'm going to do is show you how to go from A to B and find out for yourself, because that's what traditional healing really is all about. It's not about belief. It's about your direct experience, what I like to call direct revelation. I can show you the method. I can drum for you. I can rattle for you, but you get to find out for yourself. And I don't want you to take my word for it. I do not want you to believe anything that I say. What I want you to do is journey and find out for yourself. That's the thing. All right. So it's not about you trusting me. It's about you going to see for yourself. Okay. So if you join the school community, this is what I can promise you. This is what a shamanic journey is. A shamanic journey is outside of time and space. I can promise you that, right? A shamanic journey is a journey outside of time, outside of space. I can also promise you that the shamanic journey where you journey to is a real place. It's not imagined. You're not making it up. You're not visualizing it in a daydream. It's a real place. But again, don't believe me. I want you to find out for yourself. We get to this place through an altered state of consciousness. And you can meet and communicate with your own helping spirits, not my helping spirits, your helping spirits, right? And it's really important. And again, we're just getting started. And I'm going to say a lot of stuff here. If it sounds confusing or you're not sure, don't worry. This is just an introduction of me to you about what I'm doing. And then if you want to go further, join the school community, the Shaman's Journey, and we'll go further. So at any rate, the shamanic journey is a journey outside of time and space. It's a real place where the spirits are located. We get there through an altered state of consciousness where you can meet and communicate with your helping spirits. Now, across every inhabited continent for thousands upon thousands of years, this has been the shaman's primary tool. It's how the shaman goes to get answers for divination. It's how healing information is retrieved for the community. So we're talking way before anything about medicine, right? We're talking about spiritual healing. And every practitioner, no matter how advanced in shamanism, starts the same way by learning how to take a journey. So when you come to the workshop, here's my promise that by the time we're done, you will have learned how to take your first shamanic journey to what we call the lower world. And you have gone, and you'll get there for one purpose, to meet a helping spirit, your helping spirit. All right. So when you do the workshop with me, that's my promise. After the workshop's done, you will have learned and you will have taken your first shaman's journey to what we call the lower world. That's it. That's the whole goal. We're not trying to master anything. We're not trying to heal your whole entire life in one short workshop. This is just to make first contact. First contact for you with your helping spirit. First contact for you in what we call non-ordinary reality, outside of space, outside of time. Okay? So I know that's a lot to take in, but this is all just an introduction. So I'm going to share with you just a little bit about what shamanism actually is, so that you'll have enough information to say, oh, I think I want to find out more about this. So I'm not going to lecture you, but I want you to understand the ground that this is built on. So simply said, shamanism is humanity's oldest spiritual practice. We find evidence of it all over the world, from the indigenous peoples of the Americas, Africa, Asia, among the Slavic peoples of Eastern Europe, Mongolia, Siberia is where most anthropologists agree is the origin of shamanism. So we find evidence all over the place, right? And it's not a coincidence. It really tells us there's something universal in how human beings have connected with spirit and with spirits for thousands upon thousands of years. Now, I studied with the Foundation for Shamanic Studies, founded by Dr. Michael Harner in 1980, and he's largely credited with introducing shamanism to the West back in the 1980s. He was an anthropologist. So, at any rate, you can look up Dr. Michael Harner, and there's a lot of information out there about that. So, he reintroduced shamanism to the West. And I took my first workshop, as I mentioned, in 1999, a weekend workshop. And that basic workshop, that introductory workshop, is still offered today because it works. It works. What I'm doing is, now that I've returned to my roots of Mexican curandero practice, Mexican traditional healing, and shamanism, and I see where the overlap is, where they overlap, where they speak the same language, where they're doing the same things, right? And what it's called in that tradition, what it's called in this method, and how they come together. And I've created a synthesis that works for me in my own private healing practice, and it works for the students that I'm teaching today. So I'll say it this way. Shamanism is a healing art. It's a traditional healing practice. In today's modern world, you'd probably say integrative medicine or complementary medicine. That's how the modern Western world or medical community tries to let it fit in, right? It's a healing practice. It's traditional, right? It's a healing art. It works with nature. It works with nature's spirits. It works with the elements, right? It works with the seasons. It is a nature-based practice. And that's the whole orientation of it. And everyone that I've trained with and everyone I train, we teach it for one reason: to help other people, to relieve suffering, to be a positive force in the world, and to help us connect back to the living world all around us, back to Mother Nature, back to the forces of nature, back to the elements, right? And remind people that we're connected to this amazing organism called the earth and the heavens and everything out there, right? The other beautiful thing I want to make sure you understand is that there is no dogma in what I teach. There's no dogma in shamanism. And there's no dogma that I found in Mexican traditional healing either. There are no rules that you have to agree to, no rules you have to sign on to, no belief you have to profess. And that's really part of what drew me to shamanism in the first place and had me stick around, because one, it's not a religion. It is not a religion. There's no dogma. There's no rules. There's no intermediary. There's no priest, no rabbi, no minister, no anybody else that's up there in the front telling me what to believe, right? This work returns people to their spiritual heritage. It returned me to my spiritual heritage, and it returns people to their spiritual heritage without the walls of organized religion. So we don't need to get into that side conversation. What you want to know is there's no dogma. You bring yourself as you are. Bring yourself as you are. Okay? If there were any rules, for me would be live responsibly, live with ethics, right? Treat others as you want to be treated. Tell the truth. Be honest, right? Those are pretty basic rules of human beings in the world, hopefully, today. So, okay, I am going to talk a little bit more here and end this video and make sure that you have the link that you need to join the Shaman's Journey on School, where I'll be presenting this information and teaching these workshops for you as well. So, I want to end here with what we call the shamanic worldview. So what do shamans believe, right? So there are a few things that the shamanic practices rest on, the foundation. And again, I'm not asking you to believe them. I'm just asking you to try them on for size. Try them on for size and see how it feels to you. Okay? So let's see. Shamanic worldview. Everything is alive. Everything is alive. Everything has spirit. Not just people, not just animals, the trees, the earth, the rivers, the creeks, the oceans, the clouds, the stones. Everything is alive. The elements, fire, air, water, earth, the stars, the sun, and the moon, right? Now, in this worldview, you're not moving through dead matter. You're moving through a world that is aware, that is alive, that's sentient, conscious, everywhere all the time. That's a beautiful thing, right? The other part of this shamanic worldview is that there's more than one reality. There is more than one reality. So, where we're at right now, we call this ordinary reality, but there are others. So, in shamanism, we say ordinary reality, non ordinary reality. Some people say that's attributed to Carlos Castaneda in some of his early books. I'd have to go back and double check, but that's how we speak about it today. The reality that you're in right now is real, and there are other realities that are equally real. So the one that we're in right now, when you get up and you go about your day, ordinary reality. Non-ordinary reality is the world of spirits. And in the first journey workshop that you'll be taking with me, and I'll be sharing with you, we journey to the lower world, which is a place outside of space and time. It's a non-ordinary place where there are spirits, helping spirits, right? And you'll learn for yourself, because again, I don't want you to believe me, but you'll learn for yourself that this is a real place. It's not your imagination. And to the shaman or the shamanic practitioner, it is a real place. And you can return to it over and over again and get guidance, get help, ask for healing, and you'll learn how to get there and go to the same place over and over and over again. The last thing is this: the helping spirits are real, and they're completely benevolent, compassionate, helping spirits. So a person who practices shamanism, the shaman, we don't think that the spirits are real. We know, again, from direct revelation. So the shaman doesn't think that the spirits are real. The shaman knows. We don't hope they're real. We know they're real because we've been there. We interact with them. Direct, repeated contact. And the spirits that we seek out in non-ordinary reality are benevolent, compassionate spirits. All they want to do is help. And they're waiting for you to ask. They're waiting to be asked for help. Okay? So in all the work that I teach, how I've been trained, how I train others, we're only working with compassionate beings, benevolent spirits that want to help us. That's it. Okay? So it's a whole lot of what I said in the last 20 minutes. You don't have to believe any of it, right? Just hold it loosely, like a door that's being held open for you to look inside, see what's over there. And when you take the journey, when you learn and take your very first journey, you can find out for yourself. That's direct revelation. That's direct experience. So I'm going to leave it there for now. The school community is called the Shaman's Journey on School, SKOOL. And my name is Anthony Rios. I've created this community on School to teach traditional healing arts and traditional healing medicine to people who are ready to take that step. If that's you, click the link, check out the school community, join, and we'll be on our way. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your time. And we got a lot of work to do, and I'm very excited to do it and share it with you. All right. We'll talk again real soon. Bye now.